Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're all doing well and I hope this video finds you safely. In today's episode, a brand new fragrance by the company Bath & Body Works. We know they've been churning out a lot of fragrances lately. I reviewed Forest recently, of course Marble as well. Well, today we're going to be taking a closer look at the newest one. This one is called Oasis, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin my fragrance review of the brand new men's fragrance by the company Bath & Body Works, this one called Oasis, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, if you like fragrance reviews here on YouTube, but also the occasional top 10 video, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, and more, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. It would mean so much to me. All you have to do is click on that red button in the corner, and of course, while you're at it, make sure to enable notifications by clicking on the bell icon. So, like I said, I've reviewed a couple Bath & Body Works fragrances in the past few months. There's been Forest and Marble, and I mentioned Forest kind of has a little bit of like a Creed Aventus vibe with that pineapple quality, the freshness of the bergamot, and those green elements underneath. Here we have one called Oasis, and of course we are a few months away from the summer, so maybe it was launched in anticipation of the summer, because when you smell it, especially with the notes that are in here, you are going to be reminded of that summertime beachy vacation type of a fragrance. And this is of course a very simple note breakdown, which kind of goes hand in hand with what Bath & Body Works has been doing all along. So this one has coconut water, seaside lavender, and wild palm. It's certainly creamy at times. It has that coconut quality, that desiccated coconut quality. I believe there's a specific ingredient in here that's giving off that effect. And then there's also this butyric quality in the base, kind of creamy, smooth, definitely tropical and exotic leaning. Well, I'm not going to spoil it all. Let's go ahead and start things off with the presentation. So, of all of the ingredients that are listed in the note breakdown, I'm not quite sure what to make of the palm, and I'm not picking up on any lavender in here either. And lavender has a very distinct aroma. I'm not doubting that it's in here. I'm just saying that I don't think it takes center stage, so to say. I am getting a lot of the coconut though. And so there are a few coconut ingredients in here that are creating this lactonic quality in the perfume. And I know there's one ingredient called aldehyde C18, and it kind of gives off like this creamy, lactonic, fresh, fleshy type of a coconut vibe. And I've encountered it in a few fragrances before. I know there's also G by Harajuku Lovers, which was Gwen Stefani's line. I know it's a little hard to get now, but it kind of gives me that impression, but not as strong. So while it does have that coconut appeal, it's very smooth, it's very creamy, and it's actually a little bit on the light side as well. Now, the more that you smell it, that creaminess really starts to mellow out, and it gets lighter and lighter. And of course, this is cologne concentration, so you can't really expect this to be a fragrance that really explodes on your skin. You know, it is going to sit a little closer to the skin. It's going to be a little bit more on the tame side, but if I could compare this to any fragrance, I would probably compare it initially to the old school Marc Jacobs for Men, and that is a fig leaf composition. And when I'm smelling this one, yeah, while it does smell like coconut, and of course you can use real coconut in perfumes, fig is a fantasy note, however. But this smells like a lot of the contemporary modern fig perfumes on the market. As a matter of fact, this smelled like a less intense and less fruity version of Philosopos by Diptyque. It also reminds me probably more so of a Wilhelm Parfums fragrance or perfumery, I forget the name, but it's called Purple Fig. And I actually own that fragrance. I love Purple Fig. It's an amazing fragrance. And this one definitely gives off that fig, fruity, milky, you know, coconut quality that I actually really quite enjoy in perfume. So what do I have to say about it? It's definitely tropical leaning. It definitely smells exotic. It smells like a vacation scent. And so if I had the option of choosing one Bath & Body Works fragrance, I know there's a few sprays. There's one called Key West. There's one called Waikiki. There's one called Belize, I've tried them all recently, and they all smell very nice, very ethereal, very pleasant, very much so on that fruity, citrusy coconut side. And there's also something a little citrusy in here as well, but it's very short-lived. I think the progression of the scent is very quick to evolve into that creamy coconut slash fig thing that's happening in here. But it definitely smells like a tropical scent. It smells like something that I would wear on vacation if I'm traveling to a different country, or if I'm going to a nice warm tropical destination. I mean, it just makes me feel good thinking about it, right? And of course, I look outside my window and there's like a foot of snow, and so it's really nice to be able to smell something like this to kind of take your mind off of the winter madness that we're experiencing here in New Jersey. But it's an awesome fragrance. I actually really enjoy this one. My criticism would be it's a little bit on the light side, and not just light in terms of the concentration, the longevity, and the performance, but also in terms of the ingredients. I feel like none of the ingredients are used in a concentration where they come across smelling overly loud. And maybe that's your thing, you know. I know this probably appeals to Western sentiments, and so I'm sure a lot of people out there are looking for a fragrance that's a little bit on the softer, more subtle side. You don't want the fragrance to announce your presence. You don't want it to walk into the room before you do. But myself personally, I don't mind my fragrances being a little bit on the darker side, because I know how to be conservative with the sprayer, so I don't over apply. But it's a very likable scent. My wife actually loves it because she's a huge fan of coconut, and so she enjoyed this one right away. I also bought the Key West body spray for her, the fragrance mist or whatever it's called. She's really enjoying that as well, and it's just a really easy grab and go Swiss Army knife type of a fragrance. And so if you are into some of the lighter, fresher fragrances, and like I said, if you are a fan of some of the fig based perfumes, especially the two niche ones that I mentioned earlier, chances are you will enjoy this one for a designer alternative that is very affordably priced. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, I took a look at the uniqueness and the overall scent, and this is not too unique in the sense that I've smelled a lot of other coconut slash fig perfumes that kind of give off that same creamy lactonic vibe, and I feel like this has it as well. And so it's not the most unique fragrance on the market per se, but it's kind of hard to find a fragrance that smells like this on the designer level, I would say. The only one that I was really able to pin it back to is Marc Jacobs for Men, but you're not going to find that anymore in like a Macy's or Sephora. I don't think it's discontinued, but it's just becoming a little harder to find, so you kind of have to buy it at a discounter. So I do find it to be unique in that sense, like it's sort of, you know, replacing that genre that is kind of lost in designer fragrances. So I do find this one to be very appealing. So when it comes to the overall smell, I do find it to be appealing, and like I said, my wife really loves it. Longevity on this fragrance was about 4 to 5 hours on my skin, so it's not a very long-lasting perfume. And the projection was really good for the first hour of application, and then it started to sit really close to the skin until about that 3.5 hour mark. So if you are wearing, you know, dark colored clothing, this is one where I would recommend spraying it on your clothes. I think it's going to enhance the longevity a little bit. In terms of the versatility, I think this one is a vacation perfume through and through. It's definitely one that I'm going to save and wear as soon as it starts to get a little bit warmer outside. So I can see myself wearing this one in the spring and summer, but mostly summer. I think despite the fact that it's marketed for men, it actually smells quite unisex, and there are a lot of women's perfumes from Bath & Body Works that utilize this coconut DNA, and so this is kind of evocative and reminiscent of some of the other women's perfumes that Bath & Body Works has put out. So despite the fact that it's marketed for men, I do see it to be unisex. I think this one is a little bit more youthful in nature. It doesn't give off a suntan lotion vibe or anything like that, so it's not cheesy or kitschy in terms of its approach, although I personally love my suntan lotion fragrances like Fire Island by Bond No. 9 and Virgin Island Water by Creed, although this one doesn't smell as organic as Virgin Island Water. But the versatility I think is really good. I just couldn't wear it in the colder weather unless you're wearing it indoors, of course. And then in terms of the presentation, I like the blue color. I think that was missing. You know, we have bourbon with the red bottle, if I'm not mistaken. We have forest, we have marble, we have teak wood, if I'm remembering correctly. And so I think this is the first one that really has this bright blue bottle, and I think it's a really nice addition to the collection, really stands out. So my final verdict on this fragrance is, if you are a fan of notes like coconut and fig, and you like fragrances that are a little bit more on the soft and creamy side, and you're on a really tight budget, and especially if you're a fan of some of the other niche perfumes that I mentioned throughout the course of this review that do contain the note of fig, then I would recommend checking this one out. Don't have your hopes set super high because it's not this ultra high tier niche perfume, and for the price that you're paying, I think it's quite, and I think this one is what, $34.90, or in the vein of like, no, $39.50, so it's about 40 bucks, right? But I know Bath & Body Works is always running promotions, so they often have like buy 3 get 3 free, and I'm not sure what they're doing recently, but I actually got this in combination with 2 more items, so I did end up getting a free item. But in any case, I want to thank you all so much for tuning into my review today. I really hope you took something of value from this video. That was my fragrance review of Oasis by Bath & Body Works. If you did take something of value from this video and you're not subscribed, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click on that red button in the corner, and of course, while you're at it, please make sure to enable notifications by clicking on the bell. Thanks again for watching. Love you all, and we'll see you soon. Bye.